Hi everyone and welcome back as I continue my review of selected episodes of Blake 7 and I continue with Season 2, Voices from the Past. This is a bit of a strange story. A signal is being broadcasted to Blake and Blake starts acting up very strangely. He diverts the Liberator to an abandoned mining vicinity on a asteroid. This upsets the rest of the crew. They said, "We are a democracy, Blake. You can't do this." And Blake just basically turns around and says, "Yes, I can." So with his odd behaviour, Callie and Avon start to investigate Blake. They do assume that with Callie's sort of ESP powers, that she has definitely picked up with some sort of signal that's been transmitted to Blake. And they probe Blake's mind. Blake is going on about his trial, renounce the Freedom Party, and so on. It's all coming to the surface. They're putting the pieces of the puzzle together. It seems that Blake is under some sort of hypnotic suggestion of some sort. And they then call upon Aurak to investigate even further, which Aurak does. Aurak practically confirms that Blake is being influenced by this signal being transmitted to him. And Aurak suggests a way of eradicating the signal from Blake's mind. Villa sort of intervenes while this is going on. He gets the wrong end of the stick and he decides to side with Blake. Blake sort of tells him that mutiny's been taking place on the Liberator and Villa sort of goes along with it. Blake catches Avon, Callie and Jenna out by locking them in a room and telling Villa to teleport him down to the asteroid on arrival, which Villa does. Blake basically tells Villa, "Keep him locked up while I check this facility out, and because I'm going to teleport them down there for a few days to cool off." It really is weird. Anyway, Blake teleports down to this abandoned mining facility and it turns out not to be that abandoned. He comes face to face with a man called Shiva, a peace resistance leader, and Van Glynn, who prosecuted Blake at his trial. Anyway, eventually all contact lost with Blake. This upsets Villa. Villa releases the others. Avon and Jenna teleport down. They start asking a few questions here and there. And eventually everything is sort of sorted out to a degree. Everybody teleports back up to the Liberator. Van Glynn says he's got a massive evidence against Servalan. And he's going to present this at this governor meeting to bring down Servalan, basically. But things are not quite as they see between Shiva and Van Glynn. There's a little bit of distrust. Anyway, they set course to the meeting where they pick up Governor Legrand, who's hosting this meeting. She is brought up to the Liberator where they have a short meeting before teleporting down. Meanwhile, Avon and Callie have deduced this signal has come from this abandoned mining facility, and they now think that Blake is still under the control of this signal, but a short-range signal now, which is aboard the Liberator. Meanwhile, the meeting of the resistance, you could say, is taking place before this main governor meeting where this evidence is going to be presented to the governors. Avon and Callie intervene, saying, "Blake, you're under control of some sort of signal, and it's coming from some sort of device on board the Liberator, which is quite correct, because Van Glynn produces that device, and he says it was just an aid to a means in the terms of contacting Blake, getting him to this abandoned facility to get everybody up to the Liberator to hold this meeting. Little do they know, Servalan knows everything, and Servalan is about to spring a trap. So they head off to the planet where the conference will be taking place. Blake has taken Aurak's key away, so Aurak is in off mode and he cannot analyze the device. Anyway, most of them now teleport down, par Avon and Callie and Shiva, and then something happens. The bodyguard is killed, and Avon and Callie are caught out. It looks like Shiva has killed the bodyguard, but how could he? He's such like an infirm man. But it's not Shiva. The mask comes off. It's Travis. And Travis basically tells Avon and Callie that Servalan knew everything, and the whole thing is a trap to deal with the resistance. So, Van Glynn, Governor Legrand, Blake, Jenna, and Villa are all down there at the conference, but nobody's there. Servalan appears on the screen, basically says, "Gotcha," and basically gives orders to her Federation security forces to open fire. And that's exactly what they do. Governor Legrand is taken out. Van Glynn is seriously injured. Travis demands he is teleported down. Blake is starting to hear the signal again. He's going a bit nuts in the head. Jenna and Villa are saying, bring us up. But Blake is acting up. And Avon decides on drastic action to smash the device that's sending the signal. And Blake is completely free of the signal. Travis is obviously teleported down by this point, but everybody of the Liberator crew has been teleported back up, and Blake seems to be back to normal. And that's basically where this one ends. So let's move on to my final thoughts. Well, where do I begin? This particular story does have issues in it, story-wise. Just for an example, why did Villa side with Blake? It doesn't make much sense. He was presented with the evidence that something was going on with Blake's mind. Blake is not acting rationally, and he decides to side with him. And I don't know. It's a bit of a strange one. So clearly Travis is on a leash, working for the Supreme Commander. The whole upshot of this one basically was it was a plan by the Supreme Commander Servalan to round up this bunch of resistance and eliminate them. And not only that, but to eliminate the incriminating evidence against her. Apart from the weak points to this particular episode, it's not too bad of an episode. It's quite a good one in places. I like the bit at the end, right at the end of the episode, where Avon says, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, Blake seems to be back to normal. Something along those words. Typical Avon sarcasm, you could say. Yeah, so it wasn't too bad. It could have been a lot better and better thought out story wise, but overall it was okay. And I think on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'll catch you in due course on the next one. Have a great day. Goodbye.